I've got to apologize because I have to brush up. My 28-year-old daughter tells me, "Dad, you are old at 60." When I saw Ariana Grande on the program, I thought that was a new something at Taco Bell.
I certainly want to apologize to Ariana and to her fans and to her family and to her entire community if what I said was taken the wrong way. And listen, maybe it's just a joke that went bad.
Did y'all enjoy this icon? She's an icon herself. Come on, make her feel love at Greater Grace Temple, the city of David.
It would never be my intention to touch any woman's breast. I don't know, I guess I put my arm around her. I hugged all the female artists and the male artists, everybody that was up. I shook their hands and hugged them, and that's what we're all about in the church, about love. And again, maybe I crossed the border, or maybe I was too friendly or familiar, but again, I apologize.
I'll get that little piece of
listen, what do you expect? Wearing that kind of dress at a homegoing service for Aretha Franklin. And it's unfortunate that this particular performance, what she wore, because she wore a tight ass dress, and that revealed the truth behind pastors and politicians. You know, all of these folks, pastors, politicians, they all are people who involve in deviant behavior. We all know the history of Bill Clinton. All right, one of the first, well, the first president to get head publicly, or get caught to get head in the White House. And you got this damn pastor from Detroit grabbing on her titties, right? Trying to hug and trying to hug and kiss and squeeze Ariana Grande, who is very petite, you know. And, you know, these pastors and politicians, they hide behind, you know, a cloak and dagger, you know. All these Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Catholicism, they all have agendas. You know, all of these Abrahamic religions is just a coping mechanism ran and controlled by the dominant white society. Black people who partake in that are just coping mechanisms. They're just coping mechanisms for white supremacy. Same thing with politics. You got these politics who, you know, dibble and dabble in every statistical category you can think of. All 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. They dibble and dabble, and they have their own agenda, just like Hillary and Bill Clinton, right? Who signed off on the 1994 crime bill that catapulted what we know as mass incarceration. And at the end of the day, they both, politicians and pastors and bishops or whatever, they all involved in abhorrent, deviant behavior. Look at this dude. You know, you're using the church. You ever watch that show? It's one of my favorite shows, actually. Greenleaf on OWN. Great show. I think it's on the 3rd season. I'm watching the new season, man. So much storylines involving the pastor and the wife of the church. If I'm gonna spoil some of the things if you guys haven't watched the latest season, but just to give you guys a brief understanding and to make my point is that on the show, you know, the pastor and the first lady of the church, their marriage is at an all-time low. They're on the bounds of getting a divorce because of adultery, because of sex scandals. You know, they have problems with tax evasion, corruption, you name it. And art imitates life, life imitates art. And so all of these storylines that are in Greenleaf happen in real life. So with these pastors and these politicians, they are involved in the exact same thing: corruption, sexual deviancy, right? Adultery, drugs, sex, alcohol. They're involved in all of that shit. And so when you see this with this pastor touching and feeling on Ariana Grande, imagine what he does behind closed doors with his congregation of females. As you know, a black church, 90% of the congregation is filled up with single women, and a pastor that is a male. What do you think happens? Right? What do you think happens? There's a reason why when you go into impoverished communities and predominantly quote unquote black neighborhoods, you see a church on every corner. If you're from Miami, just travel down to 22nd Avenue and you'll see a church literally on every corner, right next door to each other. And nothing has changed collectively as a group for black people. Economically, socially, politically, nothing has changed. All the conditions are still the same. Right? All the conditions are still exactly the same. So, like I said, it's unfortunate that this incident with Ariana Grande and this damn pastor, it really overshadowed the homecoming and the memory of Aretha Franklin, who passed, who transitioned recently, right? It's unfortunate. She shouldn't have worn that damn dress. You know what I'm saying? If she wore, matter of fact, she probably shouldn't have even been invited. You were better off just getting Patti LaBelle to sing. Patti LaBelle is 74 years old, or Gladys Knight. Somebody in that tier. Get somebody on the same tier as Aretha Franklin. Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight should have been there to sing one of the songs from Aretha Franklin. Now, I understand the history between Patti LaBelle. I understand the history between Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight. They had, you know, a rivalry back in the day. They squashed it though. But still, they should have been invited to sing and to cover one of Aretha Franklin's songs. Somebody on that damn level. Not nobody like Ariana Grande. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have the decorum to understand that at an event, at a homecoming service for Aretha Franklin, you don't wear shit like that. And that's the problem with the women who wear clothing like that, revealing form-fitting clothing, and they walk down the street and they wonder why men are catcalling and gawking at them and basically trying to, you know, eye fuck them, if not bold enough to even touch them because of what you're wearing. Obviously, you know, women can get away with all of that shit. They can buy a $15 outfit at Rainbow. If you have a great body and your outfit costs $15 head to toe at Rainbow discount store, men will gravitate towards you. They will. You know what I mean? And those are just facts. As long as you got a banging ass body, doesn't matter how much your outfit costs. Doesn't even matter if you match it. If you got like a damn skirt or a onesie and you got ass and titties, men will gravitate towards you. And that's what happened in that performance with Ariana Grande. The pastors, the politicians were all groping at Ariana Grande. Them old ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? All them old ass dudes balking over Ariana Grande. Just balking over her. You know what I mean? I was trying to bring up Clinton and Ariana Grande. You know what I'm saying? Gawking at her. See if I can bring it up real quick. A little video. Let's see. Yeah, see, there's a picture right there. Look at the pastor. Look at the pastor. Look at the pastor. And look at old ass Bill Clinton. Look at all these. Look at Louis Farrakhan. Look at Jesse. All these old. Look at Jesse Jackson. Al Sharpton, all these dudes are in their 70s and 80s. You know, their blood pressure pills going up. They gotta have. This is hilarious, man. All these old ass dudes, man, on stage. Look at the pastor. Look at Bill Clinton. Look at these old ass dudes. They all are mesmerized by Ariana Grande. You know, these dudes can be her great grandfather. Literally, she's in her early 20s. So whoever invited her to this homecoming, yeah, you failed. You failed miserably. You failed miserably. You should have just reached out to Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, you know, an old gospel singer. You know what I mean? Somebody in that realm, one of the Winans to sing or something like that, to cover one of Aretha Franklin's songs. This was not appropriate at all. Not appropriate whatsoever, especially in front of these old ass motherfuckers right here. Who, these old dudes, they most likely still watch porn. I know old ass dudes like Clockwork Orange. He's still procreating, making babies. He's in his 70s. I mean, his youngest son is like what, 8, 9 years old. So he's out there still. He out there still getting it in his 70s. So you know, it is what it is, man. I don't like to talk about men's sexual, you know, prowess or whatever. But my point is that these are some old ass, horny dudes that are mesmerized by Ariana Grande and her petite body with that tight ass dress that was not appropriate to wear at this homecoming for Aretha Franklin. Bottom line. And she should have never been invited. Should have never been invited. So anyway, fam, those are my thoughts about this issue with Ariana Grande at Aretha Franklin's homecoming service. You know, like I said, this was not appropriate at all. Not appropriate. And the truth came out in front of these pastors and these politicians. We know what time it is. Just because they old don't mean they don't think about sex. They think about sex all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? So anyway, those are my thoughts about that, family. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Until next time. Oh, also, I will be doing a Patreon real soon, so be on the lookout for that video. I'll put it up sometime this week about Patreon, so how all my, you know, dedicated supporters, I will have exclusive content coming to Patreon. So be on the lookout for a Patreon video I'll put up at the later portion of this week. All right, family. So until next time, Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.